Pastor Dionne, do you ever have a moment? I know you have many moments in your prayer closet and going in. But I'm just thinking about, as you're talking and just the revelation, because I feel like a lot of times the revelations, they come in those very weak, those very vulnerable moments when you're at the end of yourself. Was there one moment in particular where you can vividly remember that in the midst of the postpartum depression, just everything just kind of feeling like this spiraling out of control, was there a moment in your prayer place, your prayer closet, that you can remember that God, he met you so powerfully there and just held you up in that moment as you were casting those cares upon him?
So you're asking specifically about like when I was going through my postpartum journey?
Or just any journey.
Or just any moment?
Any journey.
Because I was going to say, I have a recent moment.
Okay, you can share the recent moment. You can if you're comfortable.
Look, just last week I had a moment.
Whatever you're comfortable with.
Whatever the moment. Yeah, so just last week, I was having a moment, and actually it started, it's kind of been in the works, right? I've kind of been in this space in this season of my life where there's something about turning 40. I don't know. There's something about turning 40 where like things begin to hit you, and I think you start kind of questioning and wondering about like, okay, have I done what I'm supposed to do? So I've been in that space lately, Sydney, and I've been really wrestling with, is there more, God? Is there more? Is this it? Or is there more? Like, I've seen glimpses of things that God has shown me in terms of what he desires to do in and through me. But I haven't experienced some of those things yet, right, in my life. And so, of course, doubt and fear and everything else begins to creep in, and you start wondering, okay, did I really see? Was that really God that I saw? Did I really hear from God in that? Or even when you consider prophetic words that have been spoken, right, over you, and you have yet to see them come to pass, then doubt and fear come in, and you begin to question, was that really God? So I've been in that space, right, recently. And a few weeks back, just in my prayer time, and literally in my closet, that's where I pray. The Lord instructed me to go to scripture and to write down verses that speak specifically about your future and your purpose. And so on index cards, I started writing down verses, and I've placed them on my wall, like taped them to the walls, right? And as like when I come into my closet, I'll look at those and I'll say them aloud and just remind myself of what his truth says, right? So I've been doing that, but in the midst of that, I still have these moments where I ebb and flow from doubt and fear and discouragement to like being full of faith, right? And so just last week, I had this moment in my closet, and I went to church on Sunday, and at the end of my husband's sermon, a good friend of mine came over to me, and literally everything, I was at the altar on my knees praying, talking to the Lord about all the stuff that I just named. A friend of mine comes over, and she, without even knowing what I had been saying, she says, everything that you've been wondering whether or not it is going to come to pass, God hears you and he sees you, and he says that it will be so. And I broke in that moment. And that led to more moments in my prayer closet where God met me and reminded me that even when you haven't seen it physically, Dionne, it doesn't mean that it will not happen, right? Just because you can't see it with your natural eye, we're supposed to be people of faith, so we're supposed to see beyond what we see in the natural, right? So just because you haven't seen it manifested in your situation or, at this particular time, doesn't mean that my word still does not stand.